Do you guys think Julia Fox
No.
is attractive?
She looks really good. You said no?
No.
Yeah,
No,
I
I don't. I just think it's really wild. I mean, it's very telling of how he finds his sex and his success and his validation from like white people.
Now that is weird.
To go from like, in like, I think everyone can kind of objectively say like, yes, it's clearly fabricated, but like Kim is very attractive, right? I just don't see it. Or it's like maybe
I'm not comparing the two. Kim is definitely prettier than Julia Fox in my opinion. But the question was Julia Fox attractive, and that's a yes.
I would say no. Now people were saying that she was looking good in Righteous Gemstones, the Adam Sandler movie.
Uncut. Righteous Gemstones? Dear God.
That's the HBO show.
What movie is that?
No, that's the HBO show. I'm terrible. Oh my God, that's the HBO show. It's hilarious. Eric Andre this season played a mega church
I never
pastor.
heard of that.
I'm sorry.
No, Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. I'm sorry. Look, we unfiltered gems, yo. You're lucky I didn't say unfiltered. You're really lucky I did it. Hi, it's been a minute to the people listening. I just want to introduce who I am. My name is Malcolm Alexander.
And I'm Ryan Hale.
Welcome back. Welcome, Black.
It's been a minute.
Bienvenidos.
Welcome, Black.
Annyeonghaseyo. Buongiorno. Y'all know I was traveling. You know it. I'm just bringing back a little what I learned.
I thought you said DiGiorno for a second. I said, this man got pizza on the brain. He is hungry.
We'll say though, birthplace of pizza, they say is Naples. Was in Naples. Definitely had some of the best pizza I have ever had in my life. Like from the first bite, I just,
man,
whoa! Like it was. Yeah, man, the trip was life-changing, man. I would really say that. Like, it was just dope to get out, and I was able to do a little editing. Actually, like, the last episode, I posted it from my hotel room in Naples. It took 12 hours to upload because of their really crappy Wi-Fi. But, you know, I brought a little UG with me, but nah, it was...
Naples, nice.
Yeah, man. But, like, what the hell have you been up to, Hale?
Man, so much, bro.
Happy New Year to you. Podcast.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Wise.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
23 days in, 24 days in.
Something like that.
But yeah, man, it's been great. Been doing a lot of good stuff video wise. Obviously I'm a videographer, so a lot of big stuff happening there. But lately I've just been taking my yearly social media cleanse that I do every January. Just taking some time off of social media and just locking in on what I want to do this year, focusing on some goals and different things like that. So yeah, it's been good, man. Excited to get back to the show. Lots to talk about.
100%. I was just gonna ask with your cleanse, like what all goes into, or like what is the what all goes into your social media cleanse? Like what's the recipe to that for you, if you will? Like what do you cut away? How do you cut it away? What does it do for you as well?
Oh, got you. Yeah, great question. So we do a fast. We being my church. We do a fast at the same time every year I think it's like the second Monday in January or something like that, 21-day fast. And obviously you can fast from whatever you like. It's no strict guidelines or anything like that. So people do different things. But me, I like fasting from social media, just not focusing on what other people is doing and just really focusing on me and what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish, figure out the vision for my year and all that good stuff. So it's good for me. So yeah, what I do for me is I just don't hop on social media at all, to be honest. Yeah. Do you have like I usually delete all the apps off my phone. This year I haven't, just for like business stuff. Sometimes I do have to go in there and like answer a message or post something for UG or something like that, you know. But most times I just delete the apps off my phone for 21 days and then that's about it. So keep it simple.
Yeah. Okay. I love it.
Yeah, man. So it's been good.
I love it. And I definitely do my social media hiatuses when necessary. And I think
they're well needed.
They're well needed. I'll delete it just for a day. Like I'll just get a weird moment, like in the morning. I'll go out and fuck it.
Same, bro.
I just get it off my phone and I'm like, I'll come back to that tomorrow. So social media has been wild. There's stories that we'll talk about today that we just haven't had a chance to hit because we've been on our little holiday break. So today's going to be a catch-up session between ourselves and, of course, y'all as the listeners. And so we thank you for subscribing everywhere, doing the YouTube thing. We got to talk like Mike Todd. We haven't talked about it. And, like, it's been nice because we've had to send you some stuff like, hey, this is happening. I know you might have heard about it, but this is happening. I want to talk about Mike Todd, and actually I want to use Fresh and Fit as an entry point to talk about a larger issue that I've been actually polling in my Instagram story, and I don't know if you had a chance to catch it right before your 21 day, because no, it definitely was after it, but we'll get into it. A larger story about relationships between black men and black women. We want to talk about, we want to get your opinions as well as listeners. So thanks for subscribing everywhere at the YouTube. Hail. I just want to do it, bro. Let's get this show started.
We back,
baby. Let's go.
Let's get it. All right, guys, we are Unfiltered Gems. Giving my introduction again, I'm Ryan Hale.
I'm Malcolm Alexander.
It's been a while, so we might have to reintroduce ourselves a few times throughout the show, just in case we got hopefully some new listeners and all of that good stuff. But like Malcolm mentioned in the intro, we are definitely going to hit some stories that we haven't got a chance to hit during our hiatus. A lot of good music that we missed, or not necessarily missed, but haven't got a chance to talk on, like such as Dawn FM. Yep, The Weeknd's new album, which is really good. A lot of good tracks on there. Also, we didn't get a chance to talk about this one at the end of 2021, but Magic, Nas's album, him and Hit Boy, was a really good project. Did you listen to that one? By your face, it's looking like a no?
No, I didn't.
All right.
I definitely did get excited for it because I gave King's Disease 2 a chance when it came out, a couple years back or whatever. And
that was last year too.
Okay, and I was getting through it, and I remember where I was, and I'm just listening, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of in it, and then he goes, and I never beat a woman, and then he ad-libbed and goes, I mean that. And I thought to myself, that is the most awkward and most incriminating piece of rap that I've heard in quite some time. You really picked
out the worst line of the whole album.
It soured the entire Nas
ruined your Nas experience.
It ruined the entire Nas experience for me. Like, I can literally go back to Illmatic, and that's about it. Wow. Quite frankly.
Not even King's Disease that won a Grammy?
King's Disease 2? No. So the first King's Disease. Is that it?
Won the Grammy, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Wow, okay.
I'm okay. And again, like, it's funny when it comes to just putting really just incriminating lines, because this literally comes like in a time where, like Jay and a bunch of artists, they're like appealing to like the New York State, what is it, like the court. They're appealing to the court. They're doing a thing. They're doing the legal thing. Forgive me for not being a legal eagle. That is my like legal eagle. Forgive me for not knowing the jargon. But no, like Jay-Z, Meek Mill, Big Sean, Fat Joe, Yo Gotti, Kelly Rowland, even Killer Mike, Robin Thicke, and what New York lawmakers are. Yeah, I know, right? New York
Robin
lawmakers
really fell off after he lost Paula. Sorry.
He did. No, he definitely did. He definitely did.
I
will say that.
Everything. You know that Kevin Hart joke where she took everything. So the funniest thing is that I said he lost it all.
I said all those names, and I almost was with the question, Robin Thicke, like Kelly Rowland, Killer Mike, Yo Gotti, Big Kid, Robin.
Oh, Robin.
But I could see why. Again, the thing that we don't talk about with Robin that needs to be talking about is I could see why Robin Thicke would be involved in this group of people who do not want their lyrics used against them in court. And so now they're calling it the rap music on trial. And that is what they're calling the case, and it would actually be able to defend rappers and artists who pretty much have incriminating lyrics, allowed it not to be used against them in court.
Wow, would that have helped Bobby Shmurda? Because he had. No, that's why he went to jail, right? Or no?
Yes and no, but there was weapon seized though, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And I don't want to say. Again, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it could have. It could have. Can you think of like your favorite incriminating rap lyric that you've heard in your life and you might have said, I wouldn't admit to something like that, but
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Dang, I wish I could though. But there are a lot of that I can't believe they say on the record.
On the record.
And then stream it. and
on
sell it.
the record. I'm sorry. I just consider one of the quintessential, if we're picturing Jay, anytime that you're talking about moving snowflakes by the OZ, I'm like, I mean, sure. Okay. Call me Pablo, baby. But like, I love good, or anything. I'm sorry. Hell Hath No Fury clips. Mm-hmm. See, you be saying I don't like rappity rap, bro, but I promise you, I will bring up lyrics like I love rappity rap. I do, but just the shit get boring if you ain't got a hit on it. But I'm sorry, like I love clips. I love Malice. I love Push, but
yeah,
Hell Hath No Fury in a lot of their raps is literally all coke rap, and that's why we
no,
love
that's
it.
True.
We love it,
and I wonder if they feel like they can just say that stuff due to. I wonder how deep they go into like statute of limitations or like what. Because like to say that boldly, knowing that it's going to be all over the world, especially with Jay, like with no fear, and then performing it all over the world, like.
But you can see why. Now we're in a space where it's like, how can we tie our loose ends up, if you will? Mm-hmm. How can we make sure that down the line you don't try to get me? I'm not shocked, especially with the reckoning between violence, gang affiliation, sexual assault, especially with the Cosby documentaries coming out next week, along with the Janet. We might have to talk about that coming up. But there's all these things happen in people. Even there's a new documentary with Hugh Hefner talking about how it turns out he had cameras in a lot of the rooms and he would lie to
that's not surprising to me at all.
It's not surprising.
Why? What do you mean it turns out? That's not surprising. That's not breaking news.
It's not surprising, but it's like now all the women that it happened with, they're like, no, here's what happened. Here's the tapes. And everyone's like, oh my God. And he
here's the tapes like they were like molested or something, or here's the tapes like they didn't know
or
they
like
were
it'd
being
be
recorded.
like without the consent and all that. Gotcha. So I think it's like and now Hef isn't even here to defend himself, but again, it's like I don't think
Hugh Hefner died
years back, bro. Yes. You know what? Based on our recent conversations, I doubt you'd even be able to pick Hugh Hefner out from a lineup. I bet I'd be like, you know who this old white man is? And you'd be like, I don't know, Paul, and I'd be like, no, that's Hugh Hefner.
You are so disrespectful.
I'm just gonna throw.
I didn't
that
know
out
one
there.
white man.
Yes, you probably would have known the good white man Alex Trebek. I'd probably put the picture up, and you'd be like, who's that?
You're
and I'd
disrespectful.
Be like, that's the host of
You're
Jeopardy.
Disrespectful.
Golly.
I didn't know one person, and now I don't know anybody. Okay.
Oh my God. So all I'm saying, my only point I want to wrap up on this is that it will be interesting to see how, especially in hip hop, with an industry that we do have a lot of incriminating lyrics, from drug to sexual assault. Think about what happened with Rick Ross in 2010 with the "You Ain't Know." And my man's literally said, "I put a pill in her drink and she ain't even know." You are literally admitting to date rape. But okay, literally. But the club's jumping. So it's
at Wingstop.
At Wingstop, Fat Boy need a 10-piece. No, I'm sorry, I love Ross. Anyway, look, I'm sorry, I don't want to say I love Ross, but he got.
I know after saying that lyric.
I know after saying that lyric. I didn't like that lyric. I would say that. Right? I didn't like that one. I definitely did not like that lyric.
But my question to that rap on trial would be: are they saying then that everything that we're saying is not? It didn't really happen, or we're just rapping, or
no?
What are they saying? Like,
it's simply saying like a lawyer cannot use a lyrical reference to find a way to accuse me of anything in court.
Well, see, man, I'm probably gonna be in the minority, but I don't know if I can necessarily agree with that.
It has the community split. It has the community split. How much do you want to defend your heroes, right? So many of our heroes.
Imagine if O.J. Simpson was a rapper and just got up there. I mean, he wrote a book, but imagine if he put out a song.
My favorite. If I had done it.
If I would have done exactly. Imagine if he made a song like that. Like, we're not gonna go get him. No, I don't know. I can't. I don't know if I agree with that. Even the Rick Ross example that you just used, like, that's date rape. That's not okay.
I'm not laughing about that, but it's just like it.
I don't think that's okay.
But just think about it. And it's like, again, it's pretty common knowledge, Nas's transgressions as far as abuse.
Yep. Jay's too.
So it's where these artists are wanting to cover their ass. And I think Jay's taking
But what
lessons
grounds
from
do they have
Simmons.
To stand on?
No. You know what
I'm just asking.
I would cover your ass while you still can.
What I'm saying to them, like, what grounds, my question to them would be like, what grounds do you have to stand on to want to rap it when it benefits you, but then don't want to get in trouble for it?
I don't know. I think what it does, it protects younger artists, because I feel like for Jay, he's already said what he said, but of course Jay is on dad rap now, so it's not like
not dad rap.
He's it's like, I'm sorry, ever since Blue's been around, he hasn't been talking about coke rap. He hasn't been doing that. So and I love all the dad rap shit. It's cool, but I think what it's probably going to do is set up spaces where a Bobby Shmurda can't get locked up again, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
So basically, commit a crime, then rap about it, and you're good.
Sarah, please. I would love to know a question.
There also has to be empirical evidence that said crime occurred. So if there's no evidence that a crime occurred, like if I'm rapping and I say, hey, I went out and killed so-and-so on the street last night, but there's no evidence to support that. So-and-so,
so yeah, if there's no empirical
maybe you
evidence,
can't find him, maybe he's missing, but that doesn't mean that. Then you just stand on in a trial anyway.
I understand. Taylor is sitting here like, I don't
agree with that at all.
Not selling it. Look, it's
so pretty much commit a crime, then rap about it, and you should be safe if this passes. Right?
If there's evidence, I say, oh, I killed Hugh Hefner. And then people are looking at me like, well, you were never in his house. I'm like, well, I did it. They can't lock me up and put me in jail because I said I did it.
Right, no, I get that. Because basically you're saying something that you didn't do. But for these guys, they actually did this stuff. That's my thing. Yeah, there might not be any evidence. Huh? Well,
how do you...
He talked about it in interviews and
allegedly.
Oh, stop it!
Allegedly.
This ain't no allegedly, and I'm allegedly black. Okay,
I didn't see him do it. I didn't see him do it. Did you see him do it?
No. No, we're all turning a blind eye. Okay.
That's all I'm simply saying. Look, I'm just saying. Look, we got to keep it in the court real quick. We have to talk about infringements on a lot of things in the country. It's dare I say, depressing. It's regressive. It's reductive. It's abusive. It's a travesty to humanity, to American, to really what it means to be an American. I want to turn our eye real quick on voting rights. We don't have to spend a lot of time here. But I hope people are really paying attention to what is happening in our Senate. I definitely have given up on government, and politicians being our saviors. I know that politic of mine is not new on this podcast and on this platform. But I think what's happened recently amongst people that call themselves Democrats, like Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema out in Yo Hood. That's
I was about to say.
Girl, hell.
Yep.
That's
all the way out here in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. Yep.
That's yo people. I need you to get your girl, bro.
That's not my people. Don't say that. That's not my people.
Get your girl, bro.
I live here, but that's not my people.
But what's happening with politicians that want to call themselves or say that they align one way, but do what they can to dismantle democracy, all on the other hand, it's not okay, man. It's not okay.
It's not okay at all. Especially with this voting rights bill. Sorry to cut you off. Please. But the voting rights bill, the Freedom to Vote Act, for people who didn't know, it would have done a lot of different things. And if you go and look at the bill, you can see all the specifics. But some of the big things it would have been to make the election day a national holiday, give people different options to vote at different places, polling locations, things like that. There's a bill out in, what is it, Georgia or Texas now, where they can't even, Georgia's law, they can't even hand out water to voters who are standing in long lines now because of the bill that they've put in place. And that's just one of 52 bills that they've put in place over like the last year or so for voting rights. So it's terrible, man. And it obviously it's not a coincidence that they're doing this right after how the election went. Because that election is probably the biggest one in our lifetime, the way it went and everything like that, the turnout and all that stuff. So it's not a coincidence. They're doing this to stop the black and brown vote for sure, I believe.
And what's even scarier is I believe it was a conservative, and I don't know his name, but one of the other senators had said he would have passed it if there would have been stipulations, and what he wanted was armed patrol at voting booths. To which makes me question, nigga, are we in 1865? Said patrol to make sure that the democratic process is protected at all costs.
When's the last time you heard a voting booth shot up? Or a voting site shot up?
No, but that's just it. It's 1865.
It's just stupid.
Because you want to intimidate black and brown people from
exactly
in polls.
Just ignorant.
It's incredibly, incredibly scary. And I think that mixed with not just voting rights, but mixed with the way we could very well see this being the last year that we celebrate the anniversary of Roe v. Wade. With a packed court of conservatives and Trump allies, Roe v. Wade is at the greatest risk it's ever been at of being dismantled, and abortions being restricted nationwide. Women's reproductive health taking one of the greatest losses it's ever seen in this democratic system.
And we talked about that in an earlier episode on the show about some of the new laws and restrictions on abortions and things of that nature. And like you said, I mean, this is probably the greatest time that that'll be under fire to change that Roe v. Wade. But what's sad, I believe, is that if it doesn't change this year, then next year will be the biggest year it's under fire. Like, they're going to do everything they can to change that. They're not going to stop until they change it, which is unfortunate. It's sad. I don't even know how we stop that. If we can't even get voting rights, I don't know what they're going to do.
Man, it's a very scary time, y'all. I would just say, I know I'm probably like a lot of people that might be listening, especially the fact that we're still in this pan dulce, this panoramic, this Panasonic, where I know it's easy to like say, like, look, I'm just not going to stay plugged in. I'm going to get away from the social media. I don't watch the news. I respect the decision because I really understand what it takes to maintain quality mental health. Like, I really, like, if anybody gets it, y'all, trust me, I do get it. But please do what you can to just stay informed.
Mm-hmm.
Please do what you just can just to do your level best at just seeing what is happening. Because we got to make sure, y'all, that we are looking out for our community, that we're looking out for our fellow man, our fellow woman. Like, there's also a bill in Florida now as far as education where now you can't mention the word gay. They're doing what they can to take out. They're saying that when they refer to history, and if they're referring to historical figures who could have been queer, they won't say gay. They won't allow the use of it, even if there are LGBTQ youth going to school who are either open or struggling with opening up about it. They can't bring that to the administration.
Oh, wow.
Y'all, we got to look out for one another. We got to look out for the kids, man. Like, I know it's like everybody's conservatives swear that's what they're fighting for, right? We're doing this for the future. Like, you're not. Like, y'all, we really, really, really got to think about community here. The fact that
you're right.
Rights,
and especially,
I was
just about to say with voting, especially because I think like some elections are coming up here soon or in the next year or so. So, and I think I talked to you about this on OTB in the last election before voting took place, that if voting wasn't important, then why would they work so hard to take our voting rights away? And this is just another example of how important it is to go out there and vote, not only in a presidential election, but for your local government and things like that, because these are the people who are making these changes. Like you mentioned, I mean, who would have thought that the senator in Arizona would be one of the people to stop a voting bill act? You know what I mean?
A Democratic senator.
A Democratic senator at that. Exactly.
I think that's and that leads me to like literally here's just like my my no filter on this. And again, y'all know the politic. Y'all know where I'm at. I love y'all, but it's like if you privilege from any degree of whiteness, white passingness, if you are not in this game right now to be a race trader, then you got to get out of my way. For this next election and so on and so forth, I do not care if you say you're a Democrat. Clearly, you do not give a shit about us. And so the main issue that I have is that we need black and brown faces in government. I don't want to see another white president. I don't want to see another. And naturally, I say that, but Donald Trump, for all intents and purposes, is highly likely going to be our next president, the way things are looking. Just
Isn't
get
that
your
scary?
popcorn ready for it.
Isn't that scary?
Ready for it. But it's the fact that people can call themselves Democrats, say that they align, use their politics to assure that they get the vote, only for them to still be conduits for white patriarchy and white supremacy at the end of the day. So just hear me when I say this in my very unmitigated no filter. Vote black and brown bodies into your local national and state level political positions. It might be the only other thing that outside of abolition that I can think of as a way of truly protecting democracy. And I'll leave it at that. Haley, you got anything before we take a quick break?
Nope. You said it all.
Quick break. We'll be right back with more Unfiltered Gems, y'all. Thank you. Love is in the air, y'all.
Is it though? You'll be the judge as you watch our new 3-episode dating special premiering in February.
I've been shooting my shot in the DMs lately. Losing battle.
We are getting into the good and probably the bad of dating. It's going down exclusively on the Unfiltered Gems podcast YouTube channel.
So learn your lady's way of communicating.
Trust me, you don't want to miss it.
Make sure you're subscribed. Unfiltered Gems podcast. Welcome back to the show. My name is Malcolm Alexander.
And I'm Ryan Hale.
Y'all, we got to get into it. I really want to talk about sports. I mean, we got to talk.
Which is a shocker.
We got to talk about the good old, Tom Brady bleeding his own blood.
What does that even mean?
Because did you never see Dodgeball? When
Oh yeah.
when Ben Stiller goes, no one makes me bleed my own blood. Because when I saw the picture of my man with his, he looked kind of like Ben Stiller. He had like a little he was like bleeding. I was
That's
like,
funny.
And all I thought of, I was like, nobody makes Tom Brady bleed his own blood. That's just the first thing I thought of. I'm not gonna lie. Look, what I'm hearing, what I saw. I was out brunching a little bit. Shout out to my boy Malcolm. We was brunching a little bit. So the game. Then the subsequent game was on after that. So I saw the Rams in that clutch field goal. At the end, is that not what it was?
No, it was. I'm just shaking my head because I hated seeing it.
Oh, okay. I was like, tell me, okay. I was like, I
can't stand the Rams, so yeah.
I literally have I'm not partial to any team, so I'm just seeing it happen, and just seeing like. We were at, shout out to Fixin's. It's a soul food restaurant right over there at LA Live.
Oh, no.
And the whole place is split. Half Bucks fans, half Rams fans. And just to see the on one side of the bar, like, oh my God, it was wild. And then of course crazy. You had the Bills and who else?
The Chiefs.
That
was just crazy. Yeah. If you thought the Bucks and Rams game was crazy, the Chiefs and Bills game was 10 times crazier. That was probably one of the best, if not the best game I've ever seen in my life. Wow. And that's wild. Like that game was absolutely insane. Like it's not just a regular thing to see a team drive 50 yards down the field and score with 13 seconds left. It's not normal.
Because it was
don't
tied.
See that. You don't see 3 lead changes in 2 minutes. Not normal. It was crazy.
Because I saw we left right maybe around halftime of the Chiefs and Bills. And so I saw the last quarter on Twitter, kind of.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was seeing I was like, damn, it was like just another close game. But that's exciting. That kind of stuff is what really makes it makes it exciting. So I want to know, bro, you are a resident sports agency, right? You know what I'm saying? You are a resident, you know what I'm saying? Authority is what I'm trying to say. You're a resident sports authority is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I, with my interview hand, am just good at asking questions. Hale, Super Bowl's coming up in 3 weeks, man, and I have no context of I mean, I see who won this weekend, but who do we predict? Who do you want to see? Who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl?
Obviously, like I said just a second ago, I absolutely hate the Rams. But I also hate the San Francisco 49ers as well. So that game is just the worst of the worst for me. But the 49ers and the Rams play next Sunday night. I've got the Rams winning that game.
And who are they playing?
And then we've got the Chiefs and Bengals. I've got the Chiefs winning that game. So I think it's going to be Chiefs versus Rams Super Bowl. And in the words of the beautiful, luxurious Issa Rae, I'm rooting for everybody black. So Patrick Mahomes, I pray, wins another Super Bowl, and I'll be happy. I'll be happy as ever with that.
And exactly, and that'd be. And the Chiefs won within the past 5 years.
Yeah, they won 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Got it.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yep.
Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
So that's my prediction: Chiefs, Rams.
Chiefs and Rams. When the NFC and the AFC. That's what I said. Yo, he on video trying to sound it out. Like, I was doing good, wasn't it? I was doing good, you know.
Oh my gosh. The NFC man. and the KFC. Yep.
And the KFC. Yo, let me tell you, that's me. Yo, but I'm so good at talking like surface level with sports, and then sometimes T-Pain put me onto this. I'll just make up a real hood ass name. And people will just be like, man, like, you know, the worst they're going to be is like, I ain't heard of him, but I know, I'm sure, he's on the line. Like,
that's so stupid.
Yo, man, but I'll pull up really, and I'll be like, look, so right, you'll get the prediction, right? This is how I carry the conversation. You'll get the prediction. You'll be like, I got Chiefs and Rams. And I'll be like, bruh, I'm telling you, I went to high school with Latrell Johnson. He plays for the Chiefs. I don't think he's like a starter, but like Latrell Johnson, dude, like,
Latrell Johnson's not on the roster.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Sounds like he could be. Latrell Johnson.
Sounds like he could be. You're stupid. Only Latrell I know that played professional sports is Latrell Sprewell. And you know who that is?
No.
With the spinners. You know, back in the day, the spinners on the rims. He had basketball shoes with those in his shoes.
Oh, like that was him.
Yeah, the Spree was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know Spree.
I know.
He coached. He choked his coach. He was crazy.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
well, then
shout out to Latrell.
Shout out to Latrell.
Shout out to Trelly Trail.
Shout out to Latrell. Yo, okay, hold up. I gotta keep this pod going. I want to keep our eyes on another crazy person that.
That is not. Oh, whoa.
Crazy.
That is not okay.
That's no, he's not. I'm sorry. No, he's not. I'm talking about Kanye. I'm not talking about Antonio Brown. I'm talking about Antonio Brown.
You are. Oh, my God. You know what's crazy, though, that you say Kanye is because Antonio Brown was on I Am Athlete.
Yeah.
Podcast led by Brandon Marshall. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon Marshall said that him and Kanye, Antonio Brown and Kanye, remind him of each other. Brandon Marshall said Kanye reminds him of Antonio Brown and vice versa because they're both disruptors, and Antonio Brown didn't like that as much. So, but yeah, Antonio Brown, yeah.
What does Antonio Brown like? Like, just can you give
doing him
a non-doctoral prognosis on who and what Antonio Brown is?
I mean, after watching this interview with him on I Am Athlete, he was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Adamant that he did not have a mental health issue. Nothing was wrong with his mental health. He was fine. He said, and I quote, "I don't have mental health. I have mental wealth because I'm myself at all the time." That's what he said. So I don't necessarily know if he actually has a mental health issue. I honestly think that he just doesn't have good people around him and doesn't know how to make the best decisions. That's what I think.
I'm sorry.
Because his decision to run off the field half naked, that's not a smart play.
What's half naked? Like he just took his shirt off, or he pulled his pants down?
You didn't see that?
No.
This man, supposedly the coach told him, get the F off the field. You're done.
Yeah.
He was mad because he was hurt. He told the coach he couldn't go, and that's what the coach said to him. So he decided on the sidelines to take his helmet off. Then he took his pads off with the jersey. Then he took his shirt off, unbuckled his belt and pants or whatever, and runs across the field, runs across the end zone, holds up the peace sign, and just runs out to the locker room. Yep.
I like him.
Absolutely insane.
I like him.
You like him?
I like him. I like him. I like him. He's got heart. Kind of reminds me of Kanye.
Okay.
But here's my thing about I don't have mental health, I have mental wealth line. That line was just about as hilarious and empty as when Drake got found out about his child and goes, "I'm not hiding my child from the world. I'm hiding the world from my child."
That Drake line was actually better than Antonio Brown's line.
I don't know. They both up there where I'm just like,
They both up there.
They both up there with just along with the Nas and I never beat a woman. I mean that. Like all those bars are just ended up right there.
Yeah. I did want to ask you though.
Yeah.
Speaking of bars, because Antonio Brown, after he had his thing, he released a song.
I heard
because
it.
that's what people do. Oh, you heard it? Was it good?
No. No.
Man, he was talking on that podcast like it was the next number one hit.
I think the only rapper that I like, you know, baller turned rapper, there's two that I think I can actually respect. Rappity rap. Damian Lillard.
I knew it. Yep.
And AI. Allen Iverson.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Sarah's muted. She comes and she goes, "No, we know who the fuck you're talking about.
We know who
but
you're talking about. I
also,
can't give you that
what?
one.
No, I'll give it to AI. AI was like, AI Loki was a basketball Zach Fox, and I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed AI when he was rapping. He had what, it was like the one album, but it was a run. I thought it was great.
He said it was a run. Antonio Brown did, though, ask, and I wanted to ask you what he asked. He asked Brandon Marshall, who's obviously a former NFL wide receiver himself.
Yeah.
He asked him what he would have done in that situation. If the coach turned to him while he was injured and said, get the F off the field, what would he have done? And Brandon Marshall said, I always thought to myself, I want to play the game that they're playing. I want to keep getting my money. I want to keep doing this, but I don't want them to have control of the narrative. Mm-hmm. So what I would have did was I would have stood next to the coach when the cameras couldn't see me and said, hey, you can't talk to me like that, but we're gonna handle this in the locker room. Mm-hmm. Antonio Brown said, I handled it my way. That's where I'm from. That's how we do things.
Yeah.
So my question to you is like, how would you handle it? Do you think there's a difference based off of obviously where somebody's from and things of that nature? Or do you think that people should handle their business? Because whether we like it or not, the NFL is a business.
Yeah.
Do you think people should handle their business like, or handle it based off who they are?
Well, wow. I'm a firm believer that you can't expect yourself in other people. I will
100% agree with that.
I will say that. Two, I will myself. I understand, and I try to always gain context of where someone's from, because I always know it's like I may not.
That's important.
There's a way that I'm gonna handle it, and then there's another way that other folk gonna handle it. You know what I'm saying? And I just have to make sure that I'm understanding and I'm equipped to make sure that I can match that energy. We know, like in Antonio Brown's case, like, you know, he can put it on the hood, but a man's just, you know, he's got mental wealth. So it's like, you know, like he moved different. You know, he built different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I would like to think that there should be a level of professionalism. But I would like to think that probably by this time he's probably mentioned something to the coach. For someone to go just jump that extremely, he might have already said something.
Well, I mean, he said that him and the coach had exchanged text messages before the game. The coach was aware of his injury, but then there was obviously mixed reports, as it always is in the media and a story like this. So you never know. I mean, my no filter on this, though, my last thing I'm going to say on this thing is this. Antonio Brown may not have a mental health issue. We'll give him that. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. No mental health issue. Mm-hmm. But what my issue is that as a professional athlete, whether you want it to be or not, you're a role model. And shout out to Sarah, who just reminded me that Antonio Brown's parents. Okay. So yeah, he was between an estranged father and a mother growing up. His mom kicked him out of the house at age 16, so he was homeless. So, and I knew he had a crazy background, crazy story. But this is my thing. You've been in the NFL long enough to know, whether you like it or not, you're a role model. And to run off the field like that is equivalent in a way to running off your job when your boss tells you something you don't like or says something like that. You can't do that. Black people who don't have your privilege don't have the opportunity or the availability to do something crazy like that and still get paid and still be on TV and still be making money off of a terrible rap song. You get what I'm saying? So that's not the way to handle things. So that would be my biggest thing. It's not even about his mental health or his decision, because he, like he said on the show, I've got money. You don't need money. You're right. But you're showing this to other young black men who look up to you, whether you like it or not. So that's my big thing. That's why I definitely didn't agree with anything he's done.
There's a part of me that wants to play devil's advocate, but I can't, because I do think that, like, I do think there is an objective way that you should move in these spaces. But this is all some people know, man. This is how.
Yeah, that's true.
This is what some people, and it's not up to your workplace to modify to you. It's up to you of like how bad do you want something, and are you willing to work with people?
Exactly.
But again, we'll leave my politics for the NFL for a later pod. You already know how I feel about the NFL. We gonna close on you on no filter, brother. Okay. Let's take one more break, and then a whole lot more unfiltered gems. We got to touch on some of these. We got some of the older stories. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of the stories that have just happened that we just haven't had a chance to break down, UG style. So we're gonna do that coming up on the podcast. Okay, stick around.
Do you like incredible musical performances and income?
Welcome back. Untitled Gems. My name is Malcolm Alexander.
And I'm your boy, Ryan Hale.
Touching down on the topics that we just haven't had the chance to get, to dissect, if you will.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
We got to start out with Tulsa mega church pastor. He's not a pastor. He's a pasta. He ended with an A. It looked like pasta, but you say it like
so
pasta.
Stupid. He does not end it with an A.
Mike
Talk
Todd.
about my guy like that.
Mike Todd. Good talk to Mike Todd. By now, y'all have seen the video. Y'all have seen it. Y'all know what the hell this is. He taking a book out of Mark, okay? And I just don't think it's hitting. Hell,
You stupid.
as the resident evangelical.
You are a true fool.
As the resident evangelical of the podcast.
First on the resident sports agency.
The resident sports authority. You know, I was trying to look for authority, and the agency came out. I didn't have the words. Okay, you are a resident sports authority, and you're also the resident. You got some work. You wear many titles here. As a resident evangelical, can you throw cap on this, please? Like, why? Why, hell? Tell me why.
I can't say why, but I will say what he's already said, because he did a video, obviously, after the outcry or whatnot, the outrage of people on, social media, that he watched it back, and only thing I can say is what he said. Like, it was disgusting. I can't lie. Was it biblical? Yes. What he was talking about is 100% on the money, like the sermons that I've watched from him has. So I can't say that it's not biblically based, but
no,
sometimes,
it's
like he said,
biblically based.
Yeah, but sometimes, like he said, sometimes you try to make the scriptures come too alive. Like he could have used a different example, and I think hindsight is 20/20 because he knows that now. There was probably a better way to do that. No, there was a better way to do it. There was a better way to do that. It was his brother, so I mean, it would have been different. Like, it would have been different if it was just like a member or a volunteer. So that would have just made it worse, in my opinion. In my opinion, it would have made it worse. But it was his blood brother. Like, that's your brother.
No, like,
I'm not saying I would have done it.
Hey, guess who wouldn't be ranking their Thanksgiving foods at my house?
So
if my brother would have spit in his hand and smeared it in my face.
But we're acting like, well, not. Let's not act like the brother didn't know ahead of time. I'm not saying it wasn't disgusting, because it was disgusting. But the brother obviously knew about it ahead of time. He was obviously willing to do it, and it probably wasn't the best. It wasn't the best example or best way to go about it, because it distracted people more than it led people to understanding the meaning that he was trying to make. I'll say that. My only issue is I think people are killing this man for a mistake.
You don't think
they're killing this man like he cheated on his wife and his family, like he went out here and shot up a church himself. Like, chill. And that's my problem with the cancel culture, which is sadly led by mostly black people. We like to kill we like to kill our own, and that's why one of my issues. So now we hold somebody on such a pedestal, being a pastor, and that's a whole different conversation for a different day. But we held him on a pedestal because of his messages and all the things that he's done and how big he is on social media. And now he made a mistake, and now we want to kill him. That's crazy to me. But go ahead.
Anyone's killing him. I think that he is getting rightful dragging. He's getting dragged, and that's all it is. And I quite frankly think he's getting dragged, and I think he deserves it. Like, it was out of
I guess that's where we disagree. Go ahead.
I genuinely think he's getting dragged, and I think he deserves it. Not just for even that, but there's been even other sermons that, again, and I'll leave it to Twitter to dig up the receipts, baby, of just sermons where, again, it's just cap. I think we're taking the Bible a little too literal. Like, and that's just what it is. There's incredible word in there. I'm not saying that the word ain't right, but I'm saying to illustrate it, you aren't Jesus, nigga. Like, so the illustration is better told than expressed. Or the fact, bruh, water to wine and y'all use grapefruit, y'all make the skin a little piece of a loaf of bread. Clearly, you can show in imagination. So I understand the word of like how, yes, what God has for you ain't always going to be pretty. But I think it puts you to illustrate something like that. It puts you on a pedestal to feel like Jesus. And I think that's also the problem with a lot of mega
totally
church.
Disagree with that.
That's a lot of mega church leaders. That's where they get to.
No, I disagree with that completely. To do an example based off of talking about Jesus in the scripture, if you do an example talking as Jesus or what you think Jesus would have done or taking it word for word in the scripture, does not make you believe that you're Jesus. That's not right. He's not thinking that he's Jesus. He's not trying to put himself on a pedestal acting as Jesus. He was doing an example like thousands of pastors, mega or not, do. You're making an example, using an example to show what Jesus was doing at that time. That's not a problem. You're not putting yourself up there with Jesus.
And when he did
that's not what he's doing.
Could see after that. You just did it.
Exactly. That was the example in the scripture. That is not
scripture.
Obviously physically we knew that wasn't about to happen. But to say that he was doing that act and as if he was Jesus is just totally left field and wrong.
But then
that's totally wrong.
Why
That's
else
totally
would
not
you
what he's doing.
Do it? Why would you just to illustrate it? It doesn't. If all you're saying is simply to illustrate it, you gotta I'm sorry, you gotta sell.
Listen,
it to me
I'm not defending this example because, like
but
I said,
you are.
It was disgusting. No, I'm not. Hear me out. I'm not defending this specific example because it was disgusting, like I said. What I'm defending is, or what I'm disagreeing with you on, is that to do an example acting as if Jesus, because there's multiple other examples that we see in the scriptures of Jesus that he could have done examples on. You just brought up the water to wine. You could have did an example with, water and food coloring and all that good stuff. That doesn't mean I'm acting like Jesus if I'm doing that. So if you're doing an example or illustration, it doesn't make you putting on yourself on a pedestal for Jesus.
What I said was, nigga, you are not Jesus. That
exactly.
is
but he knows that. What's the point of you saying that?
But there's an ego attached to it for you to like.
Oh my gosh! No, there's an ego that people place on him. If you watch his messages and if you read his books and things like that, there has never been, for somebody who has watched and read a lot of his work, there's never been a time where I thought this man was putting himself on a pedestal, acting as Jesus or talking as Jesus. That's not true. I'm not gonna blast him and say that. That's just not true. That's my no filter on that.
A lot of people would disagree. It's just what.
That's fine. But those people would have to go back and give me some examples, and I would love to discuss that with them, because if you just want to pick apart something and saying, oh, he thinks he's Jesus here, that's just stupid to me.
I don't think it's. I'm saying the illustration puts you in a place where you're putting yourself in that space. I think that's just what it is. It's just like, because I think, again, only Jesus can do what are the things in the Bible. So it's like, I understand the illustration, but it's like, is it not the word that we're supposed to be studying? Like, I didn't need the fanfare. I didn't need the show to prove the point,
bro.
And clearly,
if it was only the word,
because no one got the point.
Oh, absolutely. But if it was only the word that we would be studying, there would be no point for people to watch church. We could just listen. We could just listen along and read. That's why people watch church. That's why there's such a big online following for a transformation church or a big church like that, so that people can see them present the word and display it. It's not just for you to read along. If it was just reading along, what would be the point for having cameras and stuff? What would be the point for that? Just to look at their faces? That's not the reason. That's not the purpose for somebody passing or doing illustrations in church. That's not the reason behind it. And it's not to be Jesus Christ himself either. Clearly. Now, I guess I do sound like the resident evangelical man.
You do.
I guess he put that hat on me, and I carried the mantle.
Just, sit here, defend it. I
didn't defend that. I'm just defending illustrations And I understood what he was trying to do, but it wasn't the right approach. That's all.
You defended that one. We gonna let you have it.
Maybe I defended it. I could have defended worse things, so I'll take that.
You defended. We see the side of the aisle that you play on, but you're the resident evangelical. I knew it was going to be a good one. Okay, we thank you. I'm the legal eagle, and you're the resident evangelical. We're just here providing the good content for the people. Got to switch. We have to talk real quick. We have to touch on I really don't want to give these guys airtime. I could care less to do it, but here we are, and I want to use them as simply an entry point to have a larger conversation. Hale, I mentioned this, I think, off air about how at the top of the month, I started just asking certain questions in my Instagram story, just taking polls, getting word from men and women. And a lot of the questions I'd be asking are always going to be kind of directly to black people. Mm-hmm. One question in relation to this story that I asked was, black men, do you have platonic relationships with other black women who are not your sister, mother, auntie, significant other, right? Then the next story over, black women, do you have black male friends, or do you have vulnerable, intimate, platonic relationships with them? Same thing, not father, significant other, so on and so forth. And that came after I got invited to a or a going away party. And when you go to a party, you're going to a party, what's the first thing that you ask about a party?
I don't know.
Who gonna be there?
Oh, yeah. I guess I was thinking about a
right?
birthday party. Yeah, right. Who gonna be there? That's true.
Little party, like obviously not for a club, but you go in a club, you're like, hey, like who gonna be there? Mm-hmm. And Victoria goes, oh, well, it's all the girls. And I said, so there's no guys going, right? And not saying that in one moment that I need all guys, but I'm just and I'm thinking I'm cooking for her friend who's going away, and I'm just but it's cool to have some other guys there sometimes, because then girl talk can just turn to girl talk, and guy talk, and and of course I'm all about coexisting in community, and y'all know that. But I asked why. I said, how come? And I happen to know Victoria's case, but then a lot of her friends in this one night were able to kind of share with me a little bit, hey, how come? You know what I'm saying? And based off of that poll's results as well, a lot of black men feel that they have good, healthy relationships with black women, or at least voted. The yes to that was in the 80%. It was damn near split as far as black women that have close relationships with black men. And the overlying root, the main factor that was always shared, right, was safety, was boundaries, was the fact that, no, I don't have relationships with other black men outside of my family, because each time we get a little close, they cross a boundary. Reoccurring thing that I saw in my story, right? They just always end up trying to hit. I don't feel safe. I don't feel protected. So when I saw the clip of the Fresh and Fit, right, saying that they don't date Shaniquas, and
they're not into Night Riders
and all that shit. It all happened at the same time that I was actually polling this. I polled this before even I saw the clip. I was just and I'm just genuinely having the feelings of how come my sisters don't have that many relationships with other black men, and most times I am the only man in a lot of my spaces, which I don't have an issue with. That's not it. But it's how come black women don't feel safe, and how come clearly black men aren't creating spaces for black women to feel safe? And when I find podcasts like these motherfuckers, it's literally the reason why. Their brand is built for insecure men, to give them something to look forward to give them something to make them feel special. Mm-hmm. And the one factor that makes them feel special is looking at women as things. Looking at women as a prize.
Yep.
And not a prize as like a wife, but a prize as in like a trophy prize.
Mm-hmm.
Just something else to put on the mantle so I can say I hit that.
Exactly.
They literally do pickup classes. And
On
thank
that
God
show.
and thank God to Twitter for even being able to show some of the Patreon content. As far as the damn light-skinned dude that be sitting here talking about, well, the one way that you can, a great pickup line is, you do the overconfident. You just go up to a girl and you say, I'm glad I found somebody that almost looks as good as me tonight. And he goes, yeah, great entry point.
And he's serious. That's what's so crazy.
Serious.
They're serious.
They're
They're so serious about how
I'm sorry, no. Let's bring it back. They're so confident in their lies. Their lies have them in bondage.
They're so comfortable in their lives. You're right. You're right. They're so comfortable in their lives.
Yeah, man.
They're very comfortable. And we're not sugarcoating anything in 2022. That's one of my things. We're not sugarcoating nothing. This is the truth behind it all. If you are a black man, fresh and fit or not, because I'm so sick of seeing this. And if you a black man that's following me on social media and anything, this is for you too. If you're a black man who has the audacity to say, oh, I don't date black women, or oh, I don't like black women and all that stuff, you're just weak. That's what you are. You're a weak man. Mm-hmm. And this is beyond preference. This is a preference is I don't like women with tattoos. I don't like women. That's a preference. I'm so sick of hearing this as a black man. As a black man, oh, I don't date black women. When you got a black mama, you got a black sister, you got black friends, but you don't date black women. Why? Why? Because you're too weak. That's what it is. That's the end of the day. You're just weak. And insecure is not strong enough for me. Yes, they're insecure, but the biggest thing is they're weak. They're weak-minded men. Mm-hmm. And they're just the two leaders in that community of weak-minded men is those ignorant people of Fresh and Fit. I'm so sick of Fresh and Fit. Sick of everybody who support Fresh and Fit. Sorry, I can go on and on about this. It's just ignorant to me. How are you a black man and of all races you don't date as black women? How? Just make it make sense to me. That's I don't understand.
But we know exactly what it is. And again, you've spoken. I'm letting you go off, King. Please. Because I've had
2 segments in a row. I need to chill.
Yeah, no. Look, because I've had my contentions with it already. Right, literally exactly what I have been really just doing a lot of work in. I think there's going to be some other just content that I just kind of want to create in this space this year. Outside of UG, but just a part of my storytelling, just really speaking to the relationships between black men and women. Like, I agree with fucking everything that you just said, dude. Again, y'all know my politics. Y'all heard I was talking about. You already know, man. I am violently pro-black at times. Okay, so y'all like
Dr. Umar, is that you? I'm just joking.
Koofy hat pops right on. Okay, you and your white wife cannot come to the cookout. You and your white wife cannot come to the cookout. I love this, man. Dr. Umar, favorite character on the internet. Favorite character. Y'all know, man. Black women are queen. They are king. Black women are everything to me. Yes, I'm incredibly partial. I've always been. But again, I'm always put in the exception. I'm always put in the rule. I'm always put in the like, well, yeah, you're rare for that regard, right? And why is that? I want to do further work into diving into the self-hatred, the acute self-hatred that has to be experienced by a black man to literally so boldly say, yeah, I don't date. And not just I don't date black women, but I don't date Boniquas, I don't date or Shaniquas or like whatever, you know what I'm saying? To literally attack them all in the same sentence.
That's how you know it's beyond a preference, because that's what they went on the air the next day. I saw a clip and talking about, oh, we can't have preferences if women want to have preferences. This is so beyond a preference. You could honestly just say, I don't like black women, and I would disagree with you still. Yeah, but that's not as bad as attacking black women and throwing them out there.
100%.
Because there may be other races that you don't date, but you don't talk about them like you talk about black women. Why is that? And you're black. That's the craziest part of it all. You're black.
Saddest part is that their own mothers, they said that their mothers like are hurt by the fact that they don't like black women. But you know, here's the tea, right? I think both of them are immigrants. Last time I checked, they grew up on islands that tourism, white fetishized tourism, was the best export they had. So what I think is that there could be just experiences that they just had with white people and seeing them similar to Kanye. Yeah, we can link this to Kanye, right? There's a point at which we see whiteness or the proximity to whiteness as the penultimate form of success. And again, that's where it just roots back to a very acute level of self-hatred. And that's what has to be explored here, man. Like you said, you mentioned like, yeah, if y'all on my timeline and y'all watching Fresh and Fit, quite frankly, you can unfollow me. It's even deeper. It's deeper than that. Because it admits to a sincere level of weakness, of insecurity, and of self-hatred, anti-blackness that is just disgusting. And that's all we'll say about that. Okay?
Yeah.
What I do want to touch on are good things.
Speaking of insecure.
Speaking of insecure. I'm the segue king. Just let me have it, right? Speaking of insecurity, we got to talk about what did we we only missed the finale episode. That's all we really missed.
I think so, right?
Here's the thing. We're not doing an episode wrap. Hell,
yeah.
I want to say we talked about it. We kind of texted about it, but we haven't really talked about it, okay?
Right.
Some people know my thoughts about the finale and how the show
I think we kind of talked about your thoughts more than anything.
We briefly did. I'll share mine momentarily. Hale, I want to know your thoughts. Give me this. How would you rate it?
Mm-hmm.
Rate it, and then give me why. Rate the insecure rap, like how the show wrapped. I need you to rate it right now, and then tell me why.
1 to 10. Or what am I rating? 1 to 10 or what?
You call. You want to do a grade or a 1 to 10?
Either way.
Let's do a grade.
Oh, 1 to 10, Sarah?
Okay.
1 to 10.
1 to 10.
Okay.
Let's do 1 to 10.
1 being the worst, 10 being the best.
10 being the best. Naturally, you're going to have to compare it to how other finales of other TV shows made you feel.
See, that's why I don't agree with that. Why?
Because
why do I have to compare it?
Because like I'm saying, how did this show end? The show's ending.
No, I hear that, but I'm saying, why do I have to compare it to other endings of shows? Because it's different.
1 to 10, Hale. 1 to 10. 1 to 10, Hale. 1 to 10, Hale.
I'm gonna go with. Okay, I'm gonna go with a 7. Okay. 7.5.
Okay.
7.5. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I wish I could rate it higher, but the only reason I'm going 7.5 is because I wasn't a huge fan of. I've never been a huge fan of this in TV shows when they kind of speed through. Mm-hmm. I don't love that.
Yeah.
I understood what they wanted to do, especially after watching the wind down, which they show after the show, and then watching the documentary that followed. I understood why they did it. I just wasn't a big fan of it. I would like to see more of the decisions and how those decisions affected the characters and why they made those decisions and what actually happened right after that decision was made and why. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see that. That would have resonated more with me than the speed through. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would give it a 7.5. At first, I can't lie, I didn't like the ending because it looked like we were just going on to another episode. But rewatching that ending again, I understood why they did it, just because they're like, our lives are continuing. It's not like a
100%.
Yeah, not like a final thing. So I do understand that. Wasn't the biggest fan of it per se, but if I do compare, one of my favorite shows of all time is The Fresh Prince. So if I do compare it to that, the way The Fresh Prince did end like, okay, what the heck is Will going to do now? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of a weird ending to me in that space where it looked like it was over. In this ending, it looked like their lives were continuing. You get what I'm saying? So
I get it.
I understand that. So 7.5 for me.
And I really dig the analysis. I think it's hard because I think it's a sitcom, right? Sitcoms have to be brought to an end. Where I think like dramedies, you know, because I will say I like that there wasn't. I think that might be the only thing that I liked about the finale is that it did show the lives moving on of these characters, right? Maybe of them getting the things that they all wanted. I didn't like the finale for the same reason that I just didn't like, again, the whole season. I think that we kind of were on that the whole time. I kept just saying, like, I got to see how it just plays out. Because I was let down by a lot of episodes because it just felt like filler. I didn't get enough character development in a lot of the episodes leading into the finale. And then I just feel like, again, the finale was more than rushed. It was just a flash forward thing. So I think it's like it built to this whole, it built to just like these, and here's what happens. Then 5 years later, here's what happens. And 2 years later, here's what happens. And, or it's a year later, and it just each time. And I'm just like, what? Like it was,
Yeah.
so it was cool. It was beautiful. I will say, I really liked the last shot. I did like that. Right. I had to rewatch it and see like when she like checks her. You know, she does this in the mirror. She has the ring on, so it's like, oh, okay, so she is engaged. You know, Mirror girl ain't talking. Mirror Issa ain't talking back to her because she's secure now. Like,
Yeah.
cute. I get it.
Yeah.
But it just didn't. I said if everyone just rides off into the sunset, it's gonna be kind of a letdown to me. And it's not because it's like
You did say that.
I did, and it was rushed. It was a whole season of filler. So I think it's just like the finale. I was actually going to place it probably around like a 6.57, right around same ballpark as you. But I think for just you gave it a 7.5. I want to just give it even lower. And I'm like, oh, it's a 5. Yeah, like I'm just like to me, it's again, it was good. And this isn't me coming at Issa. Like, I think honestly a lot of factors played into it. I lit it like even though they're saying like no, they only want to do 8 episodes. I'm like, I think if COVID wasn't around, I think we could have gotten 10. And I think the whole finale, I think how it played out would have been better had COVID and just budget probably not been 2 major factors amidst the pandemic for getting it done. Because
2 more episodes would have gave us something different for sure.
What does it give us? Because again, it's just y'all just like they just sped through everything, and it's just like I just didn't get a chance to like. You know what I'm saying? To really appreciate what all happened. You know, it's like we spent these granular moments with these characters, like leading up to just then boom, flash forwards and cuts and all that kind of stuff. It didn't land for me, man. And I pulled people in my story, and it was kind of split. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not my research and development.
I'm not surprised on that.
That's it. Just didn't.
Well, let me ask you this: where does Insecure go down for you as like your in your all time? And I know that's tough to kind of rank on the spot your all time shows, but where do you think this show will go down for you around there, like an estimate or based on everything the show gave us and what they did for Black people and the community?
I'm gonna need more time.
I mean, they shed a lot of light on Black businesses and all that stuff. So
it's really
and your hood too.
Yeah. Y'all know. I mean, I've been on.
You
the
was
show.
on the show.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Like, shit.
Yeah.
I honestly think I'm gonna need more time. I'm gonna need more time to just see kind of how it ages. We got a lot of really good TV.
We do.
But that's wrong. Maybe I don't, because it's like I would just come out of the gate because I think is probably one of the most groundbreaking shows was Atlanta, and I'm super excited for the season 3 coming out in March. So
we'll talk about that in another episode.
We'll get down. This pod might turn to an Atlanta rap after March. It might. I'm gonna need time with it. I don't know. Like it had moments though, and I appreciated what it did. Like it's in a league of its own, and like there's no taking away its importance. What I will say is that I don't think I will ever or people will ever stop talking about Insecure. I will say that.
True.
Where does it rank?
Best season.
Oh shit. One of the first 3.
Really? See, for me, season 4 was my favorite.
I know. I like season 4 was cool, but it just the contention between them was like too much for me. I think
that was
1 through
good
3.
TV.
It was good TV.
That was some good TV.
It did. But it's just yeah, man. Like what Issa did. I think probably what made the finale sweet was having the finale, because it's like I've watched it twice now. Just and each time I started just crying at the same parts. Like I'm just like I'm in it. You know what I'm saying?
What?
The documentary.
Oh, the documentary.
The documentary. Like it's just it's incredible, man. And like you see the looks that she gave LA. Like she made landmarks around LA. You know, even
the part where she's driving through all the spots from the show at the end. That was dope.
Yeah, man. No, so it did everything for community. It made people see LA and Black LA in a completely different way. So I think it supersedes a show, quite frankly. Atlanta is very much like a show, and it's a world where like Issa, it's not a show. It's just like LA, its existence. So I'll need time, but no, it's I will give it legend. I will say that, or it's iconic. I'll definitely say it's iconic. I'll say that. Where does it rank for you?
I definitely think it's legendary, and like you said, and groundbreaking. I don't know where I would have it as far as rankings. Yeah. But it's definitely one of my favorite shows of all time, probably. Yeah. Just the stuff I watched throughout that show, the opinions. Though I just remember watching at the beginning and talking on Twitter afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
talking to each other.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying?
Well before
like
the podcast.
we watched this show since college,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
been, it's just, it puts me in a place where I remember those conversations and those discussions. And it brought about a lot of real life discussions, especially when it comes to relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think they did a good job just not showing the woman's perspective, but they showed the male's perspective. The growth of Lawrence is something that I really loved. So
I would
liked it a lot.
agree. 10,000, and again, I think it's just really 10,000% agree is what I was trying, what mumbled out of me. But or no, excuse me, not but, and it's just in a league of its own. You know, it's like there's really nothing else. Like you can't compare it to Girlfriends. You can't compare it to anything newer. Like it truly is in a league of its own. So I think that's where it's hard. Like I don't know how I'd rank it. Like, you know, it's like people always love to rank like Breaking Bad or The Wire. Which one's better? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
It's true.
ooh, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
But when I just think of like a phenomenal show, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of, you know, it's just like it's hard. And it's a comedy drama. It's a dramedy. It's just
Right.
there's nothing to compare it to, quite frankly. So
Not yet. But I think we will see some stuff after
yeah.
that try to compare themselves to that or started because of that.
Well, speaking of black creators and people that are just revolutionizing television, because there is still black entertainment that is quality and that is incredible out there for y'all to consume. We got to talk about some of our favorite shows. I love how it used to be we have to talk about one of our favorite shows, and that was how we introduced Insecure. But we have to talk about some of our favorite shows. Not really going to even get into the plots of it, y'all, but like I just got to shout out Abbott Elementary.
Come on.
And Grand Crew. Quinta is the woman for getting it done. That's probably why we didn't see her on the last season of Black Lady Sketch Show, but it's because she has been working on her NBC deal. And boy, is
she killing it?
Is she killing it? It is hilarious.
It is.
I'm thoroughly enjoying Abbott Elementary. It's giving me some of my best laughs every single week.
Yeah, I'm a big Office fan. Big fan of The Office. And this kind of puts me in the same or a similar headspace when I watch that show. Like The Office and like the camera work and how they pan quickly and just the different off-scene interviews or whatever. Like, it just puts me in the mindset of that, and I like it. The setting and all of that. It's a really great show.
No, I adore it, man. And like I just like I think people are talking about it, but more people could be talking about it. But I'm like, I'm sorry, you have like Cheryl Lee Ralph playing like Miss Barbara, like legend. You have Tyler James Williams in a fire hilarious role, and it's not like he's any any stranger to TV or comedic timing.
Right.
And then, but you know who I really love on the show? I love Lisa Ann Walter, who plays Melissa, the teacher. Like, because I've loved her since Parent Trap. And I think I was telling you that, bro. Like, that's my girl. Like,
she's great.
She's so
I want to know the name of the principal.
Oh, the principal. That's Janelle James. She has a great stand-up special on Netflix right now.
She's coming out to Arizona. I saw her.
Yeah.
She's traveling and doing hilarious. I might go check her out.
Tell me the funny thing, though. I could not stand her in the first two episodes because I was like, no, you are just,
I know.
You're a villain. Like, you're not even funny. You're just a villain. And by episode 3, I'm just
She's
like,
hilarious now.
Like, I'm sorry, but last week killed me. Where Tyler James Williams walks in talking about, with his deep ass voice, I thought there was gonna be breakfast. She goes, you don't see these boxes of cereal?
Don't act like you don't see these boxes of cereal here.
But I've been there. Yo, you got whole hotels that will promise a continental breakfast, and then got cereal boxes there with a milk machine. Be like, yeah, this is continental breakfast. You like, okay, yeah, y'all playing with me, man. I do want to touch on Grand Crew as well. A beautiful show that is more of like kind of, it's not sitcom, but definitely
I don't know how to describe
network TV. I think it's a network TV version of like. Of not an Insecure, but I think it's just a story that follows male relationships,
friends and
male friends and black male friends, and it's super dope. Hilarious writing. My girl Nicole Byer is in it as well, and she is hilarious.
Are you a part of BBWGTYY?
Yeah. yes I am. Yes I am.
For those who don't know what that is, that's black boys who go to therapy. Yeah. Oh man, I love that show. Yeah, it's really good.
I'm so glad
I think I like that.
Letters right. Oh yeah.
I think I like that show even more because I think we talked about this off air. Shout out to my boy James White. He is the main character now.
Yes,
without a doubt.
Yes.
And if you guys know James White and watch this show, you're gonna see.
I gotta tell him. I had him on the phone the other day, and I meant to tell him that, like, and I think I told him, I was like, "Yo, you remind me of the main character on Grand Crew," and he was like, "I don't." We'll get him on. We'll get him on. Actually,
we gotta get him
that'll
on.
be the podcast thing. We'll leave it up to the audience. We'll put up some side by sides. But I feel like it's an energy thing too. People have to see James in real life being himself.
Exactly.
Like,
they need to see how he acts because now that James cut his hair, it's not. They don't look the same anymore. But now you got to see how his acts and all that stuff, his mannerisms, all of that.
Yo. All right. Well, look, we've had a monumental episode on our return. We covered a lot of
feels so good to
ground.
be back.
Feels amazing to be back, and thank you all so much for listening. Stand by. We're gonna have an incredible year of podcasting. So make sure that you're following us everywhere at Unfiltered Gems Podcast. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms, but you can watch us on YouTube. So even if you're listening, go over to YouTube and just throw us a subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Do all those things.
And not only are we going to have an amazing year of podcasting, we got some great content coming out sooner than you think, actually, coming out in February. We've got an amazing dating special that we shot over Christmas break, so can't wait to share that with you guys as well.
See, if you're only listening, you don't know that I'm like hit my shoulder shimmy. That's why you got to be watching it, so you get these dance moves on the YouTubes. Thank y'all so much for listening. For Unfiltered Gems, my name is Malcolm Alexander.
And I'm Ryan Hill. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.